Fellas, this is going to be a quick video on how to get in spectacular shape while still going out enjoying a few beers on the weekend or perhaps through the week. For context, I went to university for 3 years and I dabbled in all sorts in terms of the pints, going out, partying, getting on the sesh, as you will. And let's just say it's not the best for getting in shape. It's not the best for staying shredded. It's not the best for achieving any sort of physique goal. However, over the 3 years, I did manage to reach my ideal physique, and I do believe it is possible. It's not helpful, it's not something that will benefit you, but the truth is, you're probably going to do it. So I thought I'd make a quick video and show you how to go about doing that. Quick disclaimer though, like I said, it's not good for building your physique. It genuinely is probably the worst thing you could do. It delays protein synthesis, dehydrates you, but it's fun. There's no doubt about that. You're gonna do it anyway. We all love a pint in the UK. Maybe it's different, abroad. Maybe it's not the same. But the point is, Friday and Saturday, especially at university, it's gonna happen. So you might as well know how to reduce the damage, and that's what this video is gonna be about. So let's go with the basics. It starts with awareness. It starts knowing where are you in terms of your physique. Where is your physique currently at? So let's look at it this way. 15% body fat. That's about the point where you can't see your abs anymore. So we ask the question, can you see your abs? If not, you're going to need to cut. Okay. Our starting point is going to be 10% body fat. That's where we want to get to. That's the fine line where you can just about see your abs, and that's kind of where you want to start bulking. So if you're not right at that point, you need to do an aggressive cut to get there. However, if you are at that point, we can go straight into the bulking. That's where you're probably skinny and you can see your abs, but you haven't got enough muscle. That's where we bulk up. So fortunately, for the person who is at 10% body fat and is ready to bulk up, going out on beers, it fairly goes hand in hand. It's calories in, right? We're looking at putting on more calories. We're looking at putting on more weight. Those extra calories are just going to help me gain a little bit of fat, which isn't the end of the world. At the end of the day, we're going to be eating a lot of calories. So it's not that much of a big deal. However, when you're cutting, it's a big no-no because we want to restrict calories, and alcohol calories are not good when you're cutting. So that's what we're going to talk about in a second. But that's the basics. Understand where you're at. Now, if you're bulking, like I said, calorie surplus. The goal is to gain weight. A few beers on the weekend should not do too much harm. Our goal is weight gain. You will gain weight if you go out and drink on the weekend. Now, the question is, do you have the willpower to eat less and drink those beers? Or are you going to do it anyway? Regardless, you will gain weight. Now, there are ways we can go around this to make sure we don't gain too much fat. But the point is, I got away with this. I drunk, a fair amount on the weekends and still had a good time and managed to gain mass, but not gain too much fat. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. Just don't take the piss. Don't be drinking 3 or 4 times a week. A Friday and a Saturday and a surplus, you'd be fine. Maybe do a little bit of cardio the next day to circumvent any of the damage. But other than that, you should be fine. Where we should be really be shifting our focus is cutting. Now, this is next to impossible. I will be straight. If you want really good results and you wanna drink, you gotta live and die by the sword. You got to have some willpower to drink your shots, and beer's out of the question. We know beer going on a cut, and if there is, you're not going to reach your goals. You're just going to lose muscle mass because of a deficit, and you're not going to lose any fat. So you're going to get nowhere pretty fast. That's exactly what's going to happen. However, if you're smart and you understand that by drinking low calorie shots with no mixer, you are able to go out, get pretty pissed. We're around 500, 600 calories spent. So we can track back and think, how do we gain those 600 calories back? And that comes into cardio, maybe reducing your calories throughout the day or throughout the week. If you know it's a big occasion on a Friday night, could be in your interest to just reduce your calories by 150 every single day for the 5 days preceding that. So 5 times 150, that puts you at 750 calories, which means, you can afford to do that. And a 100-calorie difference every single day is not going to make too much. Like I said, it all starts with awareness. Most people just assume it's a write-off. But if you know you're going to be going out and you can't avoid it, at least do the maths, understand what's going to be happening, and realize that if you're going to go even bigger, then maybe you need to take 200 calories off every single day. But just understanding and planning ahead, that's what's really going to help you. But in terms of actually going out and doing this, it's not going to be very advantageous. And if you are going to do it, you're going to need some willpower. I recommend the tequilas, but we'll go on to that. So, moving on. There is a big loophole here, and it's something I discovered fairly late. However, it fucking works. And it's cardio. Fall in love with it. The runner's high. It's real. You do a 5K, it sucks. It's shit at first, but then you feel amazing after. It's something that if you're not doing right now, will take a little bit of getting used to, but eventually you'll be sweet. You'll know how to do it. You'll feel good when you're doing it. I mean, I do a 5K every morning and it honestly doesn't phase me anymore. My legs hurt a little bit. I've got shin splints. That's not ideal. But the fitness side of things, you get very fit very quickly and you actually enjoy it. So fall in love with it. Get used to that runner's high. What happens when you start running though regularly is you'll burn calories, too much calories actually. It will get to a point where it's not very advantageous, especially if you're bulking, right? Our goal is to put on size, eat an excess of calories. So those calories need to come back on somehow. Now, those calories can come back via food or, light bulb moment, alcohol. That's what you do. So if you want to go out and have fun on the weekend, do your cardio, build up a calorie bank. If you want to go out and you want to have 10 beers, which are 150 calories each, that's 1,500 calories. You need to burn 1,500 calories for the week. So therefore, you need to do 3 5Ks because they burn around 500 calories. Do you see what I mean? Just ignoring this is a recipe for disaster. However, if you understand this, it's very, very easy. Do you see what I mean? The same goes for cutting. If you burn 500 calories by the end of a week, you're going to be in a debt of 3,500 calories because you did a 5K every day, for example. Okay, that's a little bit extreme. But the point is, again, if you're already in a deficit and you put yourself in a further deficit, that's not going to help you with your goals. You need to put those calories back on because we want a small deficit and a small surplus. So we can't have, the extremities. So those calories need to come back on. And I'm not saying or promoting this is the best way, but it does work. You just need to build up a calorie bank. And you do this by running. So that is the big loophole, cardio. The bottom line is, though, ideally you want to limit it or reduce it. I am by no means promoting this. I am just understanding of how people think and how people work, and namely myself when I was at university. And sometimes I still think like this. I want to go out and drink. It's been a long week. That sounds really degenerate. Not a long week. It's been a productive week. It's been a good week. I want to socialize with my friends, but I'm not going to just kind of go teetotal and sober. I want to have a good time. And I understand if I need to do that, I need to live and die by the sword. I said it perfectly here. If you want to go and drink like a man, you must train like a man. You can't just expect to have this fun without repercussions. You need to prepare for this. If you want the physique you really, really talk about and you want to look shredded, you must prepare. It's that easy. Just understanding, being aware, and understanding that you need to basically prepare in terms of calories, or if you go overboard, make sure that you turn up the next day, you train hard, and you reverse that damage. That's all it is. I like to put it this way: for every bad thing you do or degenerate thing you do, you need to do 2 good things to spin the wheels in your favor. That's the way I like to think about it. But like I said, I went to university and I did this 3 times a week, and I still managed to stay in shape because it is possible. You just don't know the facts. And my goal here is to simply share those facts because it is possible. We don't like excuses. So I think what a lot of people tend to do, especially in the UK, is just assume that getting in shape is a write-off because I like to drink on the weekends. And if I want to get in shape, I'm going to have to eliminate drinking, which a lot of people don't want to do. I'm here to show you that that's actual bullshit, and you can do both. So that's kind of the basics so far. Now, if you get this right, you get the best of both worlds. You get to enjoy your life and remain sociable, going out, pulling, having fun, having a little bit of dance, listening to music, without being a low testosterone, fat, dad bod degenerate. Because fuck that. No one wants that, all right? No one wants to be a drunk and going out and not be in shape. That's just shit. You're going to feel shit from the no exercise, and you're going to feel shit because you look shit, and you're going to feel shit because you're going to be drinking with time. However, you get the best of both worlds, and you manage to stay in top shape, you stay athletic, you still enjoy yourself on the weekends and have a good time with your friends. You win. You get the best of both worlds. Ideally, you avoid all of it, but that's not going to happen, like we talked about. So that's why it's really, really important if you If you live by the sword, you got to die by the sword. That's the way I say it. You've got to train fucking hard if you're going to go out and have some fun. And by the way, I don't mean this is a weekly thing. Personally, I like to go out, twice a month, maybe once a month. I try and limit it as much as possible. However, you just need to understand that if you are going to do these things, you need to stay regimented and you need to be focused. But there are more ways we can focus and actually make this a little bit more feasible, because I know what a hangover is like. I know it's shit. And there's a way to prevent that. There's some secret hacks I'd like to share. Now, like I said at the start, beer, big no, full of sugar, full of shit, calories, makes you feel terrible. So the players tequila lime sodas. Now you see I've put probiotic in the brackets here. I just read this in a study the other day, to be honest with you. I don't know if I believe it, but apparently it's quite good for the gut. And that will help with hangovers. But essentially, the reason I'm saying this is because it's the lowest calorie drink, tequila lime soda. It's supposed to be good for you. Apparently, light drinks are better, less for hangover. It's a probiotic as well, win-win. I'd highly recommend that. No beers. Electrolytes, salt water. That's a big, big must. No matter what you're doing, every single day you should have electrolytes and salt water in the morning. But when you get dehydrated and you go out and you don't actually replenish this with water, because obviously when you drink water, you don't replenish electrolytes. You need to be doing this before and after. So essentially, before you go out, hydrate with some salt water in the morning, hydrate with some salt water again. Take it a step further, get your Baroccas, get your little electrolytes, those little effervescent tablets, pop them in a drink. I'd go like four or five, mix it up. And then that will fucking keep you hydrated. And that's going to really get rid of any nausea or make you feel shit. The next thing is your sleep. Now, I don't know if you've ever used the Whoop band. I used to use this quite a lot. It basically shows you what certain things do to your sleep quality. And I found that drinking, no matter how much you drink, even if it's one beer or one glass of wine, if you do it in the space of, let's say, 1 hour before bed, you will really fuck up your sleep. It just destroys the sleep quality because you don't get any REM or deep sleep, which is what your body needs to recover. That's why you wake up in the morning with brain fog or feeling like shit. So essentially, the play is to drink a lot early. Let's say you start drinking at 7 p.m., you drink quite a lot then, and then you stop drinking before you go to bed. Don't have a drink 2 to 3 hours before bed. You'll find that you actually feel well rested in the morning. You don't have as much of a hangover, and it's just good practice. Again, stop mixing every drink under the sun. Don't be the guy who starts with Guinness and the whiskey and then the tequilas, all this. That's a recipe for disaster. You choose your poison, ideally, tequila lime soda, just over here, and then stick with that. It's really good for you. Probiotic, some on the tequila side. It does a job. And 4 or 5 of them, you're sorted. That's the play to do it. No damage. Pretty good. You want to avoid the sugary shit as well. I don't know if you guys who aren't in the UK know about VKs, but they're essentially like an alcoholic J2O. And let's just say there's a lot of sugar. And what I've noticed after drinking a lot of those at university is that well, put it this way, you get a sugar come down. It's why you feel like shit in the morning. So avoid the sugary shit. Beer is probably the worst. Those VKs, Alka Pops, or whatever the fuck you call them, are even worse. Don't touch them. And just really focus for, stuff that's natural. Oh, I say natural. Christ. Tequila, basically. Go with that. Go for like spirits, low calorie mix, natural, less sugar. And finally, drink less. Don't go to excess. Some people can do this, some people can't. I personally, once I've had a drink, always fancy another one. It's just the way it is. Never works, but it's a good tip to put in there. Obviously, if you drink less, you're going to feel better in the morning. But that's your basics. Those are the secret hacks I've learned. But in summary, ideally, listen, if you're not going to cut it out, you limit it to once a month. It will help your bank account. Failing that, once a week. If anyone goes out more than once a week, I'll be honest with you, you're pretty much fucked. But ideally, once a month. That's kind of best for productivity, best for momentum with your personal life, your business, whatever it is, your bank account as well. So yeah, tequilas. Stop drinking beer. We've talked about how beer is not good. Like, you can have one or two, but stop drinking 10 pints. You're just going to plummet your testosterone. You're going to consume a lot of sugar, which is no good for your physique, and you're just going to get fat. And it's not good. But yeah, fall into the habit of cardio. do it often. If you like to go out and stuff, you've got to do your cardio. Helps you build up that calorie bank. Just be a little bit aware of what you're actually doing. Understand how many calories you're consuming. Maybe just track on MyFitnessPal one day what you've had and realize that you've probably had your daily intake in alcohol, and that's why you are where you are. So that's essentially it is. It all comes down to work harder than you play. Remember what I said. For every bad thing you do, you must do two good things to circumvent the damage. That's what I would recommend. If you can do that, you're laughing. It's not the saving grace, but I thought these are some manageable tips that I've learned over university. Now, I'm personally going to be reducing my intake over the year, so this does not really apply to me. But say I was to go out, these are the steps I'd follow to mitigate any damage. Now, that's all I could offer you there. For anyone who does think it's not possible to go out and still be in shape, think again, take some of these tips, start implementing them, and watch what happens. If you're a university student, even better. This will be the video for you. But for the most part, try and avoid it. If you're not, be mindful. That's all it is. But yeah, that's it for today, fellas. Just a quick one on how to stay in shape whilst going out. But yeah, if you need any help, my message is always open. But yeah, that's it for today, boys. I'll see you on the next one. So.